that they rescued because of the raising up of the water table. Notice what I was telling you about. That's the wrong way of restoration the French did. And that's why the water was kept inside, and that's why the temple, these columns were affected. This way, please. السلام عليكم يا رجال. At what time you want to go, to leave? Leaving here at 8? By the bus at 8? By bus at 8. Assalamu alaikum. لا.
عامل ايه يابا؟
الحمد لله.
حبيبي اللهم صل على النبي عليك.
يكرمك ويبارك فيك. السلام عليكم. Fox, this way, please. Where we are, this was the rest of the colonnade, these columns you can see behind you. But during the Roman time, a Roman chapel was built in here that became afterwards a Christian Roman chapel. They moved the columns. And by the way, I can show you where the trace of the columns were. Then they moved the walls, and they reused the walls to build this chapel. And by sense, of course, they didn't waste their time in using these blocks in order. Especially that they covered the walls with a layer of stucco, as you can see. Then they painted it, right? So by the time, and because of the floods and the time, right, that layer fell off the walls, and the original scenes started to reappear again. That's why you can see this foot upside down. Exactly, because they covered it with a layer of stucco with all the decoration they need. So a foot upside down, a cartouche upside down. Right, okay, this was during the Roman Christian time. Let's see what the Arabs did afterwards. The Muslims did. You see these holes? When you see them, that means that this place or the site where you see these marks was used as stable for the animals. That's where they were tying their animals, right? And sometimes, like in some of the other temples, you see these marks above each other. And that's showing us the level of the ground, that it was getting higher. So that's why they were doing these holes up there. Before we go inside, I want you to notice this. Within the same temple, we have seen the ancient Egyptian temple, the Roman chapel that became Christian Roman chapel, the Islamic mosque, three of them within one place. In a very simple way, this is Egypt, land of different religions living together. And maybe some of you still remember why I told you in the beginning that we were the first melting pot, right? Obviously that the Luxor people, they decided that this place is going to be sacred for them, so it remained sacred. And each time they changed their religion, they were still using it, right? with different religions, but the site had to be used as a worshipping place, whatever is the religion. The amazing thing that talking about Islam in here, that until this moment, you know, the Opet celebration we were talking about, bringing the offerings, dancing, the horses, the people celebrating. This celebration is still happening until nowadays. Every year in a major celebration, when they celebrate the birthday of Sidi Abu al-Hajjaj, the owner of that mosque, and that's when they go in a procession. They feed the people free of charge, right? Banquets in the streets, right? And they keep still playing music, dancing, playing on exactly the ancient Egyptian habit. Before we go, I want to tell you something, because I will repeat it and you will see this many times. In this country, it's too difficult to change an habit. And we are still doing a lot of things which is purely ancient Egyptian, and most of the time we don't understand why we are doing this. We are just repeating what our parents or our ancestors did, and we are keep going. You know, the American lady who used to cut the legs of the turkey in Thanksgiving every year, the head and the legs. Then her husband asked her, why you keep doing that? She said, I don't know, I found my mother doing this. So when he asked his mother-in-law, she said, I don't know, I found my mother doing that. And when he asked the grandmother, she said, I had a little oven and I had to cut the head and the legs. So sometimes we keep repeating things without really understanding what we are doing. We just inherited the habits. This way, please. You can notice the paintings on the top. These you'll find the Romans, because during the Roman time, this was a Roman area, fortified area. And you know, the Romans, they were always ruling the fortress by 4 leaders, whom they are represented sitting here, and the Romans in front of them. Exactly. This way, please. And 4 of them are here too. Mind your head, please. Watch your head, watch your step. ده انت اذان ايه ده؟ ازيك يا عمر؟ صح والسلامة يا جميل. We will turn to the right. Watch your steps. There are 2 steps here. We are here. Right. Do you mind if you move to the other side where I am? Let's swap places, if you don't mind. Ladies, can we swap places, if you don't mind? Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Now, this is the sanctuary, the Holy of Holies, the oldest structure in any temple. Or let's say this is how it should be, because it should be the oldest part, but actually it is not. It was rebuilt again during the Greek era. I want you to notice this. See that? Remains of columns here. Another one over there. Can you see that? So there were columns here. During the Greek era, or during the time of Alexander the Great in particular, they moved these columns. They added the Holy of Holies. We believe that the original Holy of Holies of this temple was located behind the temple, in exactly under the street, which is behind Luxor Temple. So this is time of Alexander the Great. This is time of Amenophis. The difference between the scenes you see on this side and the scenes you see on this side, 1,000 years. The difference between these scenes, 1,000 years, and different style. This is the bas-relief. Notice that's coming out. While here we can see the sun relief. It's deep. Which way is easier to be carved? تفضل يا بيه. Which way is easier to be carved? This one, exactly. Which one is easier to be defaced later on? Defaced. See, have a look on this side and that side. One of them, this one, yes. This one easier to be defaced. So this is more difficult to carve. Here they have to cut the wool around the figure. Here they have to cut the figure. There it could be easily defaced, and that's why the coming out reliefs or the bas-reliefs, you will see them in general on the inner walls. They are protected by nature, while if it is an outer wall, it's a sunk relief, right? Or a deep relief. Can I tell you it easier to you? Look at the feet here. This is, by the way, this is Alexander the Great. That's Alexander's. That's his cartouche, Alexander's. That's Alexander the Great in front of the god Ammon and in front of the god Men, the god of fertility in ancient Egypt. A man with the two feathers, with one hand arm raised up, with his male organ erected, and he was the god Men, M-I-N, and he was the god of fertility. This is Alexander the Great. Okay, what I want to talk about here is the art. Notice the foot, the feet here. Can you tell me which one is left, which one is right? The front one is what? Left, you're right. And the back one is? And you are right. Okay, let's have a look on the other side. This side. The front one is? Right. And you're right. The back one is? And you're left. That's not right. Both are right.
What?
Can you see that? Okay, can I give you another example? Look at these hands. That's the left one, right? And what's that? Both are left. Both are left. In general, Greco-Roman era, I'll make it easier to you. And I'm talking about the reliefs, not the statues. I repeat, I'm talking about the reliefs. If you saw the toes in general, that's Greco-Roman era. That's Greco-Roman era. In general, with few exceptions. If you couldn't see that, that's Pharaonic time. And when I say Pharaonic, I mean purely Egyptian. Again, the difference in timing is 1,000 years. This is 1,000 years older. You want to ask something? You want to say these are right? These are not the original colors.
Okay.
In general, we have the original colors everywhere, but I think you can tell that this was someone was playing by the time, and that's why you can see in most of the places a lot of graffiti. And some of the graffiti you will find that they were by soldiers or travelers, soldiers on their way to the south, to Africa, right? Or travelers writing, commemorating, you know, I was here.
Terrible.
That's exactly what they did. Right. We are supposed to meet outside by 8, so I'm leaving you 15 minutes if you wish to take some photographs. We go back the same way. You know where the entrance is? That ramp we went down. By the beginning of the ramp, that's the exit. I'll be there, 8 o'clock.
Walk the avenue of the Sphinx. We cannot walk.
You can, if you went quickly, you can do that. Please, sir. Mr. Noor. If you want to see the, go now. You want the flashlight with you, just in case? Okay, watch your step then.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What you step? I'm sorry.
A quick question. The cartouches, right?
Yes.
So only the pharaohs have cartouches.
Kings and queens. I'll talk about it later on. Yes, but only when you are reading a cartouche, you are reading a name for a king or a queen.
And it had to be in a certain orientation, right?
It got all right. In the beginning, it was the shim. In the beginning, it was the round figure. Because again, eternity. If you want to understand anything they did, go back to the keystones. Resurrection and eternity. In the beginning, writing their names in the shim. It hasn't got a beginning or an end. Right?
Right.
Then they found that this circle shape could not contain a lot of figures. So they made it the oval one, still hasn't got a beginning or an end, and could have more figures. And we have one of these theories that says it represents the horizon and the earth. The other one, it says, no, it's just the symbol of eternity. The word itself, cartouche, that's a French word. And literally it means the bullet or... pardon? Right. And that name was given by the cartilage, the cartilage that they use, that cartouche, that's the cartilage. And the name was given by the scholars who came by Napoleon, with Napoleon. They found that it looks like the cartouche, so they gave it this name, and now it became an international word, that when you say a cartouche, maybe in French, that means the cartilage, while in the other languages, you are talking about a royal name from ancient Egypt.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Am I mad because I don't know? Oh, sorry. Oh, you're over.
So, are we over? Okay. Thanks, man.
Assalamu alaikum.